downloaded Tinder this week. I've been married for 10 years, so before...
So you're a pastor who's married for 10 years and you download Tinder. We all know what Tinder is. Tinder is a dating site. More importantly, Tinder is a sex site. So you download Tinder as a pastor and a man of God, an app that you have no business on. A pastor has no business on Tinder. This guy goes on to say that he created a profile, said he was interested in both men and women, and said that he put on there that he was a man of God, a pastor, called. Can you imagine how people on that app are looking at this guy? We already live in a world that has fallen away from church and away from God. But can you imagine how people on this Tinder app, and they see this man who's supposed to be a married pastor, and he's supposed to be a man of God, but he's seeking out men and women for sex on Tinder. And then you go on to make a sermon about it. No, don't get it twisted. You got busted, and you had to explain to your wife why you were on Tinder. And this is the lamest excuse of why you were on something that you should not have been nowhere near. Can you imagine the embarrassment that this man has caused not only his church, but his wife, his family, everybody involved, not just him? This is what outrages me about these modern day preachers today. This is why you have the false teachings and the false doctrines. And this is why people are falling away from the church. Because of actions like this by a man of God, a supposed man of God and a preacher. This is disgusting for a preacher. And I'm going to go ahead and say, I know there's going to be people that are going to come against me for this statement. And they're going to tell me you should hear the whole thing. I've heard the whole thing. I don't need to promote it. I don't need to endorse it. I don't need to hear it. The fact is, you're going to say that you're using this to go preach on sin. You don't have to go and do crack to preach against drugs. You don't have to go sit in a bar and drink with an alcoholic to preach against alcoholism. You don't have to go be sleep with a prostitute to preach against that. Does that mean you have to go murder somebody so you can preach that you shouldn't murder somebody? So no, there's no justification and there's no glorification in what this man has done. So people, open your eyes. Pay attention.